All right. So we're going to start. What we're going to learn today, what we learned in the Rambam till today, the Rambam spoke about the Moildois, Tkufes, Malach HaShemesh, Malach HaYereach. What does all that mean? So we're going to give a little explanation. So when we finish today, I hope you'll know what means a month and what means a year. So, Karogil, I always start with a question, and then the question is, I mean, you see the sky, right? That's the sky, and inside is the globe, Kadur Haaretz. So the first question is, every Res Chodesh, by every Moilad, we know we don't see the moon. So the question is, why don't we see the moon? Or in other words, where is the moon that because it's there, we can't see it? Where is the moon? Let's say we called out, the Gabi called out that the Moilad will be Sunday, 12 o'clock in the middle of the day, 12 o'clock a day, right? So now let's say that's the sun. So this 12, we live on top always. Wherever we live, we always live on top. Don't forget, we always live on top. So we live on top. So 12 o'clock in the middle of that day, that means the sun is right on top of our head, right? 12 o'clock in the middle of the day. And we say that now is the Moilad, 12 o'clock is the Moilad. Where is the moon?
12 o'clock directly in front of us because it's not directly overhead because we're not at the equator.
Okay, for Mizrach, in Mizrach and Ma'ariv, it's in the middle. So we have the sun on top of us. So where is the moon now? That because wherever it is, we can't see it. So where is it? Where is the moon? Huh? The moon is right over here. So because the moon is over here, so why can't we see it? Because the earth is blocking it? That's a good idea.
That's called a lunar eclipse.
Anybody else, any other idea?
It's next to the
I'm not asking you.
Sorry.
He says because the sun is blocking the moon. So that means that the moon will be on top of the sun. Right? That's what it means, because we are looking from here and we look up and we want to see the moon, but the sun is in the middle, so we can't see it.
The sun's a lot higher.
Huh?
The sun is a lot higher.
So we can't say that the sun is blocking it.
We're blocking the moon from the sun.
So we are blocking.
Moon from the sun.
We are blocking
The moon from the sun. I mean, the moon can't because it has so much.
because the earth is in the middle. We are on the way. So somebody else said it already. Yeah? So what, you have an idea what's happening? No, nothing. Okay, so now we're going to give you a picture. We'll put a picture and show you what really happens. Want to give me a hand a minute? Take this tape, put it in the, oh, I'm sorry. Okay, right over here. I'll put by your side. I'll put over here. Tape it to the. No, this tape the picture. Wait. Let's see this way. Yeah. Okay. Good. We all know that the difference between the sun and the moon is that the sun has its own light. It's a mashpia. The moon is a makabel, doesn't have its own light. Now, we live over here. That's the sun, right? The sun in the Ma'ariv by the Shkia. And here, what happens when the moon is over here? So when the moon is over here between us and the sun, so the light of the sun comes over here. We look from the earth to the moon. We see the bottom side of the moon. And the bottom side of the moon, there is no light because all light is on top of the. What happens in middle of the month, which we will show you how they get there. So in the middle of the month, so we are between the moon and the sun. So the sun lights this part of the moon, and when we look from here, we see the same side. So we have a full moon. Now today, what happens today? Now after the Shkia, the moon. When you go out over here, you want to see the moon. Which side you're facing? You're going to look to south, and that's what you're going to see. You're going to see half a moon. Because the sun will light up this part, right, for facing the sun. We see only this side. So it's left over, it's called a quarter, but it's actually half of the moon will be for us to see. Is it understood? So that's what happens. And this happens supposedly every Rosh Chodesh. Every Moiled, the moon comes over here, and then you see the first day of the month, the moon moves up a little, so we see a little sliver of light, and more light till Tezvov, and Tezvov full, then it starts to come back over here, less till it comes back over here, and no more light again.
The moon is moving from Darim to Tzafim.
Say again.
The moon is moving from Darim.
No, I'll soon get to it. But right now, I just wanted to have in your head what means why the moon is light or why it's not light. Okay, so now the Rambam tells us in Hilchos Kiddush that there is 9 spheres which goes around the world. 9 spheres. Each sphere is like, you see, this is a sphere but that goes around the world. The world is the blue one, the globe. So we're going to go, so 7 are the planets, and then there is the 8th one, Galgal, the 8th sphere, the 8th Galgal is where all the stars of the sky in that Galgal. And then we have the Galgal Hachi. The Galgal Hachi doesn't have any stars in it. So now, what does the Galgal Hachi do? The Galgal Hachi, he goes every day from Mizrach is over here, right? He goes every day from Mizrach to Ma'ariv. He goes in every 24 hours. He makes a full circle. What does it mean in degrees a full circle? How many degrees? 360. Good. Now, when the Galgal Hachi goes every day from Mizrach to Ma'ariv, Hashem made it that everything what's in him, he takes together with him. Right? It's like a train, and you have in the train tables and chairs and people. So whoever is stationary in the train will go together with the train, the same speed will go whatever the train goes. So that's actually what we see every day. The sun goes up in Mizrach. It's because of the Galgal Hachi. He schleps everybody with him. And actually all the stars, all the planets and all the Galgalim, everything is in that train of the Galgal Hachi. Now we'll go down to the sun now. What happens to the sun? Oh, before the sun, in Galgal Hashmini, we said in Galgal Hashmini, which is right below this Galgal, so all the stars are in that Galgal. In the Rambam says that in Zman HaMabul, so they saw in all the stars, between all the stars, they made up like a belt of 12 groups of stars. And that's what's called the constellations today. So they saw one group, and 12 groups, and all the 12 groups made it around the sky, full circle, 360 degrees. If you have 12, you have 360 degrees, now full circle. So if you divide it into 12, so how many degrees you're going to give to each constellation? 30. So you have, let's say, 30, every 30 a different group. Now they started, and they saw that the belt, who knows what is this? What is this line over here? Equator. Why is it the equator? Because this is the direction of where the ball is going. The ball is going straight from Mizrach to Ma'ariv, so the middle of that, and that's called the pole, obviously. That's the South Pole and the North Pole, okay? So they saw that the belt is not going right by the equator, but it's going, half of it goes in the south, and the other half is in the north. Like you see over here, it starts. Let's say from the equator over here, and the first group, which is called Tle, starts to move away to the north till 30 degrees inland. After 30 degrees starts a different constellation show, still goes to north, and then the last one goes to north is to Hoimim, and that's the furthest to north, and from here it starts to go back to the south. Now, who knows how many degrees? Not you. How many degrees is from here to here? Huh? 23. Good. So that's the most. The belt of the constellation went to the north, and obviously the same thing to. Okay, so that's happens with the Kava Mazolas. Yeah, go ahead.
Why is the reason that we don't see any stars at night?
Say again?
We don't see stars. We go outside, don't see any stars.
Oh, because it says when you are in wie sagt man, Lem Yam und nicht um Wasser.
What?
Lem dem Yam und nicht um Wasser.
Yeah, but we used to see stars.
Because there is so much light over here that you can see other lights.
We saw stars, but we don't see things in the city.
You have to go to the country to see the
Yeah,
light.
because we see it from the city.
No.
I remember it.
Okay.
A couple of years ago.
Okay, next. So that's the Galgal Hashmini, and that's the Mazolas. Now, so again, the Mazolas, the groups of the stars are actually in Galgal Hashmini, because we said in Galgal Hachi there is no, but the Chachomim them in Zman HaMabul, they transferred, theoretically, the stars, the constellations, they transferred it to the Galgal Hachi. Also explain why. So now, we from the equator, the first 30 degrees, it's called Tle, always Tle. And then there'll be show, always show. We don't care what happened to Galgal Hashmini. So now let's go to the sun. The sun goes every day. First of all, it goes, it takes each with the Galgalachi. And it goes every day 360 degrees from Mizrach to Ma'ariv. That's why we see the sun every day comes up Mizrach, goes down to Ma'ariv, and tomorrow the same. But while the sun is traveling with the Galgalachi, it slowly goes back a little bit. It's like we said in a train. You have a train that goes fast from Mizrach to Ma'ariv. So suppose there is a person gets up and starts to walk the other way. He walks from Ma'ariv to Mizrach. So you're going to ask, which direction is the person going? If you ask which direction the person going, he's going from Ma'ariv to Mizrach. But if you're going to ask moving, to my eyes, he's moving from Mizrach to Ma'ariv. I don't see no Ma'ariv to Mizrach, because the speed from Mizrach to Ma'ariv is so overwhelming that you don't even see the other direction. So the same thing by the sun. The sun is actually its own movement every day, 1 degree from Ma'ariv to Mizrach. So in other words, we have to keep in the head that it has always two opposite directions. And obviously the Galgal Hayomi direction is stronger. Now, where is the sun going? Where is its path? So the Rambam said the path of the sun is always under Galgal HaMazolos, which means the sun will never be here. The sun will never be here, always under the black line, which is Kav HaMazolos, which also tells us that the sun will never be over 23 degrees this way or over here. It has to be always under the Mazolos. Okay? But, so in other words, the sun, here is Ma'ariv, right? So when the sun, let's say, is in Tishrei, right? So a day in Tishrei, day after Tishrei, it crossed by Tishrei, like you see over here, the sun crossed the equator from Tzofim, it crossed into Doren. Tomorrow, he'll go Mizrach, but he goes sideways. He goes also more Doren, till he goes the most he can go to Doren, and tomorrow he'll start to go a little bit to Tzofim. Now, in 124 hours, you have to keep it very good in mind because this is very misleading. In 124 hours, the sun is actually, every day, is going parallel to the Kav HaMashveh, to the equator. What does it mean it goes parallel? When the sun is over here, right? So now, the sun is moving a drop over here to Doren. So it's like it's staying on the same place. So now let's say from here to here, let's say is 5 degrees, right? So these 5 degrees will be through the whole day. You see? Because it didn't move away. It's still 5 degrees away. It's going to be a whole day, 5 degrees away from the equator. It's very important to remember it because everybody in their head, the sun every day goes around the whole Mazoles. It doesn't go around the Mazoles. In the Mazal, it stays in the same place. But it goes around the world, but always parallel to the Kav HaMashveh. Okay, anybody wants to ask any before we?
If it follows the Mazolos, there shouldn't be parallel with the equator. If it follows the Mazolos, then it should go sometime to the Tzaf and sometime to the Doren.
Now, how much does in 24 hours, how much does the sun move in Kav HaMazolos?
So it can go as far as 23.
In 124 hours, how much did it move?
It goes all the way around.
No, in the Kav HaMazolos, how much did it move away from here? Let's say here, right now is in 210, right? Number 210 in Kav HaMazolos. In 24 hours, where is he? Is he still going to be by 210?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, you mean 211 because it goes one. So when he goes around the whole world, is he going parallel to the Kav HaMashveh or not? That's what I said. Because it's such a
Small.
such a dot that it doesn't make a difference. But us, it look like it's going parallel to the Kavam. And it's very important to remember it, because in other words, when let's say the sun is in the summer, right? In the summer, the sun will be over here, right? Why we call it summer over here? Where do we live?
North, the northern hemisphere.
How many degrees north?
How many?
How many degrees north?
They were about 41.
Right, 41. So in other words, we live like over here. So when the sun comes over here, it's the closest it can get to us. So that's why we call it summer, because that's the harder, the closer the sun comes to us, the harder it gets. And with this, and for Australia, when they live in the south, so now the sun, take a look how far is it away from them. So by them it's winter now. Okay. Okay, so we know that the Galgal Yomi goes 360. The sun goes 1 degree a day from Ma'ariv to Mizrach. So now, what means a year? A year means very simple. The sun started, let's say from Pesach, the sun started from here, and it goes around through the year, around every day, 1 degree, 1 degree, 1 degree, 1 degree, comes back over here, and now we finish the year. 1 year went. How many days is a year?
365 and a quarter.
365 and a quarter. How much does the sun go a day? 1 degree. So how many, so does it fit? Doesn't fit, right? Because at 1 degree a day, it should have been in 360 days, should have been the whole year. But how much, it's the day Rambams actually. What does the Rambam say? How much does the sun go every day? Now you can tell me. Don't look inside. How much does the sun go every day?
I think it's a little less than 365 and a quarter.
A day.
What?
A day.
Oh, how much does it go every day?
Yeah.
A day was 59. What's it called again? Good. You see, when I need you, you come up. So the sun goes actually, every mile is divided into 60 halokim. So the sun goes every day only 59 halokim with cheshniyos. So that's why it's not enough 360 days. We need 365 with whatever the machlekes over there to make the whole circle. And here you have also the tkufas, but Rabbi tkufas Nisan, tkufas Tammuz, tkufas. So tkufa means very simple. You divide the year into 4, and every quarter is a tkufa itself. Tkufas Nisan is when the sun goes over the equator, starts to the north, all the way in the north starts tkufas Tammuz, and then tkufas Tishrei, and tkufas Teves. Very simple. So that's the sun. Now, what's doing with the moon? How much the moon goes every day? The moon, 13 miles and a little bit more.
No, how much? A little bit more. 30 miles with Yud Chalokim. So the moon goes every day the same direction of the sun, but it goes much faster. Instead of 1 degree almost a day, so the moon goes 13 degrees a day. And whenever, so in other words, the moon, they go more or less, not exactly. The sun, we said, goes always exactly under the line. The moon can be 5 degrees off the line, but not more than 5 degrees. So it's in other words, the moon is always between these places, between here and here. Always could be on the line also, but it's could be off. And the moon, they said, goes 13 degrees a day.
Now, what means a Mailot? We said, if you remember, that the moon, let me tell you, the sun is 93 million miles away from us. How far is the sun? The moon? 250,000. In other words, a quarter. No, not a quarter. 400 times. 400 times. So a Mailot means when the sun will be wherever it is, the sun will be the sun will be, let's say, over here, and the moon will be much lower, will be also between us and the moon. So that's the Mailot. Now the first question arises, so every month we're going to have an eclipse, right? So what's the answer? But I gave you already the answer. What's the answer? The 5 degrees. Because we said that the moon is not always exact under the black lines, could be more over here or more over here. So that's it. So it's not going to be an eclipse anymore. Because the sun, if you look up at the sun or the moon for the same, so it takes half a degree of the sky. Half a degree of, you understand what I mean? In other words, you can put from one side to the other side of how many degrees? 180. So you can put 360 suns, lines them up from one side to the other. So you understand how small? And you have 10, in other words, in the 10 degrees, in the 10, 5 and 5, so you can put 20 suns over there or 20 moons over there. So always, it doesn't have to be, should be every sun should be, every month should be an eclipse. Okay? So now we have we have over here the Mailot, the sun and the moon. What will be in 24 hours? In 24 hours, the Galgala Chi will make a full circle, and the sun will go up 1. The moon will go up 13, and tomorrow, then the next day the same. So obviously, because the moon goes much more faster, so it will catch up the sun from the other side again, and that's what happens every month. When the moon catches to the sun, so we have the next Mailot.
Does the Earth also have movement? Does the Earth have movement?
According to the Rambam, it doesn't have any movement. Dead body. That's what the Rambam, it's not my name, Rambam calls it dead body. All right. Now, before I forget, I just want to give one point. What means me'ez le'ez? 24 hours. In 24 hours, the sun supposed to be on top of our head every day, right? Now, if the Galgala Yomi, Galgala Chi, goes every day, we said how many? In 24 hours, 360. And the sun goes 1 back. Does it fit? Doesn't fit. Because every 24 hours, the sun will lose the sun 1 degree to the Mizrach till the middle of the day. At 12 o'clock, the sun will be only coming up. So what's the solution?
You make the Galgala go a little faster.
You fixed it. So actually, the Galgala Yomi goes every day 361. And that's it, 361, but 360 plus the 59, what the sun goes from Ma'ariv to Mizrach, so the Galgala goes from Mizrach to Ma'ariv. So now we have a 24-hour cycle, because he goes a little more, but the sun goes back, So exactly every 24 hours, the sun will be on top of our head. All right, so now let's go back to the Melad. So now we have to explain it in a different way already. So when it's going to be really confusing. Okay, so we said that after the Melad means the moon and the sun met, right? The moon is right, and so in 24 hours, actually the Galgal HaYomi will go 1 degree down, but the sun will stay where it was before because it goes back, and the moon will be how far away from the sun? 12. 13 less 1, because the sun also went. Now, how long does it take for the moon to come, forget about the sun, for the moon to take a whole circle around all the mazoles and come back to where it started? In other words, 360 degrees, how long does it take for the moon to do? Huh? 29 and a half. Somebody has a different number?
Yeah, like 27 and a little bit.
27, good. Because let's see what happens. The moon will, from the Melad, let's say, right? From the Melad, the moon will go full circle and come back over here, right? Come back 360 degrees. Will be our Melad then? No. Why? The sun also moved. So now the sun is 30 degrees away. 30 degrees away. So now in order for the moon to catch up to the sun, we need another 2 degrees. Another 2 days, I mean. So that's why when you say, how long does it take for the moon to make a full circle? It's 27 days. But to the Melad, we need 2 more days. It's 29 and a half. All right? So we know year, we know a month. A month is good. The month is, huh? We know the month. So now we have to know what Iberyo, Shona Muberes. Why do we need the Shona Muberes? The main thing of the Shona Muberes is we need Pesach should come out when the sun crossed into the north. That's called the Tkufa, that's the Rambam says, right? That Pesach has to be Chodesh Aviv, the Tkufa, it has to be summer, like we call it. Right?
Spring.
Huh? Spring. So now, if we're going to take 12 months, each month is how many days? 29 and a half. Right? Because we have 6 smaller, 6 choser, so it's 29 and a half. So how many days altogether? 354 days. We finished 12 months. Let's say we started from here, right? It's exactly, here was the Melad Nisan, and we start to count the 12 months. So 354 days. How many miles, how many degrees will the sun travel in the 354 days? How much? The Rambam says, that's not. The Rambam says, smach. It's almost a shimem test, but smach. 348 degrees, the sun will go in the air. In other words, if it started over here, Moilad Nisan, so they finished, the next Moilad Nisan will be over here. In other words, the sun and the moon will meet for Moilad Nisan right over here. So now, how many degrees more from Smach till the equator? No, from Smach. No. 360. A full circle 360. 12. So from 348 till 360, 12 degrees. So now the sun is over here by Moilad Nisan. When do we need it should be the Tkufa with Pesach. Chodesh season doesn't matter so much. So to how many days you have for Pesach? 14 days, 15 days. In 14, 15 days, the sun will already cross over to the north and we have no problem. So that's the second year. But the third year, we're going to lose another 12. So you can't help it. It's not going to work anymore. So now you make a Shana Muberes. So instead of Nisan, you make Odar Sheni, and then the Odar Sheni will bring you already to where you need.
What's the solar?
Huh?
What's the solar? 28 years.
That's not a solar. Any questions? No questions?
Says based in Yule, exactly where, what part of the sky, what constellation it will be. So how could they understand that?
How?
How do they understand it? In other words, let me ask the question a different way. How do we know which constellation the moon is in? So that they can.
It's very easy. I mean, if you know this, Rambam tells you a certain time where the moon was in his time, and it tells you how fast it's going. So you can calculate whenever you want to, wherever you want to because you know the speeds and you know the place where it starts. So.
Solar eclipse would always end up being on a Chodesh, basically.
Right. Solar eclipse will always be a Chodesh because the moon will be between us and the sun. Right. I see nobody else. I'll just give you a little. What means Oreh Choshech? Oreh Choshech. Why is there a place in the world that the whole every year it'll be dark over there?
Is that with the 23 degrees variation?
Right. How do you see? Look over here. If somebody lives by the pole over here, everybody can see from the sky, from top of your head, you can see 90 degrees to each side, right? So if you live over here, let's say, so you can see 90 degrees by the equator, till the equator. You can see till the equator. If the sun will be the equator, you can still see it. Now, what happens when people live over here? From equator to the north, right? So when people live over here, so they, and when people live over here, right? And the sun will cross the equator, when the sun will cross from the south to the north. So from here to 90, so once it crosses over, it loses the sun. And they will lose the sun the whole every year till it comes back. And the same thing will be obviously in the other side. And it's very interesting that Bazem, the sun, doesn't come up and go down. It goes around them, always on the horizon. But you see, when you live over here, so you're on top, and the sun will go always, like you see over here, always, it doesn't come up to them, the sun always goes. Okay. Thank you very much for listening.